everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you and I'm so glad you clicked on. My name is Ellie and we are going to be going over my January TBR today. I'm very excited. It is a new year, which means fresh new reads and just a new start, which I love. I also wanted to talk a little bit about my reading goals. I don't have too many. I do like to pick a number though on how many books I want to read in a year. I have read 161 in the year of 2024. This was a big reading year for me. I feel like all I did was read books. I think I'm going to stick with 125 as a reading goal. I feel like that's very attainable for me and it's not too much. I want to branch out in different genres. I want to read more sci-fi. I want to read some maybe historical fiction, historical romance, something like that. Just to try other things. I feel like it'd be fun to broaden my horizons. I also really want to DNF authors. I feel like there's times where I'll not like a book and then I'll give another book by that author a chance. And I feel like majority of the time that is just not working for me. So I think I'm gonna I usually do 2 or 3 books of the same author, but I think I'm just gonna do 1 or 2. Hopefully that'll be anything. I don't have an issue with DNFing books. So I will continue to do that throughout 2025. I would love to keep up with my reading journal this year. I feel like last year I kind of fell off, so this year I really would like to stick with it. Just want to go into this year feeling good. We'll see if I stick with those. Have my honey lavender matcha with me right now, and we are going to go ahead and get started and jump on in to the January TBR. There are a few books that I already know I want to have on my TBR, but we are doing a little bit of a twist on this. I had my Instagram followers choose between different polls, so I posted a variety of questions, variety of polls, and we are going to go through those. So I posted all of these polls on my Instagram and I had my followers basically pick and choose. I didn't want to do specific books because I still want to have an option of which book I want to pick. So the first poll that I posted was this one. It was between Normal Edges and Sprayed Edges. I knew that Sprayed Edges was going to win, but I wanted to put the option there anyways. So Sprayed Edges won with 77% and Normal Edges are at 23%. Definitely going with Sprayed Edge. And then the next poll that we had was thriller or a romance, and romance won this one with 55%, so we are going to be picking out a romance. Next poll was fantasy or fiction. I was actually kind of hoping that fiction would win, but fantasy won by a landslide at 76%, so we will be picking a fantasy. And then surprisingly, these are really close. I did new release or an old release. So for a while I kept looking and old release was winning, but it looks like new release has won with 52%. So there's a 1 vote difference. And then the next poll I did was 1-word title or a long title. So I consider a long title anywhere between like 4+ words, maybe 5+ words. We'll decide that factor soon. And then the last poll that I had was your recommendation. So I had some of my followers reply to this one with different books that they recommend. I only have one that I know I'm going to pick because some of my friends on here are just silly goofy. I had my friend Princeton say Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which he knows I already read and he knows I did not like. So there's that. And then I had somebody say Phantasma. I have already read Phantasma. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So that won't be one of them. And then my little sister did not put a recommendation. But my older sister said The Frozen River, which I actually don't own, but I have heard really good things about it. I believe it's a fiction. We will have to go purchase that book. This is The Frozen River. I don't really know anything about it. Hopefully that was in focus. Oh wow, it is set in Maine 1789. So it is definitely a historical fiction. Thrilling, tense, and tender story about remarkable women who left an unparalleled legacy, yet remains nearly forgotten to this day. I don't know. Actually, that sounds really interesting, so I'm glad that my sister recommended that. I'll have to pick that one up. We will be adding The Frozen River to the TBR. That is the first one that we're picking. Now let's go ahead and pick some other books. Okay, so first things first is we're gonna pick a book with sprayed edges. All of my sprayed edges are actually up there. Okay, so I pulled a couple down. I have these 3 books with sprayed edges. The first one that I have is Somewhere Beyond the Sea. This has orange sprayed edges. I might just have this on my TBR. I might not put it on the January you guys pick. But I am going to be reading this month because I just need to. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but this was one of the contenders, but I think I'm just gonna put it on there because I also really want to read one of these. So I have Heavenly Bodies. This is the Fairy Loot exclusive edition. I am obsessed with how this looks. I've been really wanting to pick this book up as well, so maybe we'll get this one. Or I have The Stars Are Dying, and I don't really know much about this. I just know it's fantasy, and I also am obsessed with the sprayed edge. What do I want? That's the real question. I have had The Stars Are Dying longer. I just got this in December for the December Fairy Loot subscription, the romantasy subscription, so I think I might go with The Stars Are Dying just because it's been on my shelf the longer, and I think that this one's gonna be really fun. I know it's a romantasy, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on the January TBR. So the next poll was thriller or romance, and romance won, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and see what romances I want to choose from. Okay, so I actually know exactly what romance I want. I want to read Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. I read The Holiday Romance by her in December, and I really enjoyed it. And I saw that this one doesn't like go around the holidays as much as that one, so I think it'll just be a fun winter one to pick up, and it's pretty short, so I think I'll fly through this. I really do want to get to it. Next we had Fantasy or Fiction, and Fantasy won. I think I'm going to be putting on Crooked Kingdom just to finish up this duology. I read Six of Crows, I think in November, and I want to finish this series up. So I'm adding this one to the TBR. I just picked out the final two books. So for a new release, I'm picking up Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I actually tried to start this last month. This is being released in January, and I think I'm going to try it on audio. It was just a bit too descriptive, and I kept losing focus, so I think I'm going to do a like audio slash physical read together to fully immerse myself in these stories. So we're going to pick this one up hopefully in the month of January, and then for the final one, which was a long title, I am picking up Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? I feel like this is definitely a long enough title to consider long, so I really want to read this. I have had this since 2023, so I definitely need to give this a read. I've heard really good things about it, so I don't know why I keep putting it off, but I know it's a Hollywood kind of based fiction romance. Not romance. Maybe not romance. I could be lying through my teeth right now, but I really would like to pick this one up. So those are all of the books that I want on my January TBR. We have a total of 6 books. One of them was one that I just put on there. Oh, no, we have 7. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to purchase the Frozen River, maybe on audio, maybe, we'll see if my library has it actually, because I really want to read on my Kindle. That's another thing I want to do. I really want to use my Kindle and only buy books that I truly love or that I know I'm going to read within the next like month or two. Another goal. So I will try not to buy as many books as I bought this year. I feel like I did a lot better job this year than I did the year before, so we're making progress. But my 2025 reading goals: read 125 books, read different genres, stop reading authors I don't like, don't buy so many books that I don't think I'm gonna love. So that is the full 4 for 2025, and those are all of the books that I want to read in January. Hopefully I can get through all of these. I'm really excited for it. That'll be it for today's video. Thank you to all of my Instagram followers for participating and helping me choose all of my books for January. We will go back to the TBR prompts probably occasionally this year, but I really wanted to try something new. So this was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Toodaloo!